Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to make a candy gun. This took me a little bit less than a month to make, but since don't want to go through that again, I'm just going to show you how to make the separate parts of the gun, how to make the stitches for like the different parts of this gun. I'm not going to be remaking it entirely. I am going to try and make this as clear as possible, so anyone over an intermediate candy kid can make this. This is a pretty intermediate tutorial. Some parts may be a little bit more advanced, but I'll try to make it as beginner friendly as I can. If you get confused, leave comments and I will try to help you. But I'm gonna try to make this as clear as possible, and yeah. So let's start. Here's the bead count for everything. This does take a lot of beads, and since I am running out of beads, obviously I can't remake it completely. That's another reason why I can't remake it completely. But just for now, I'm going to show you the different stitches and how to attach them. You also need some fabric stretch cord. Don't use clear stretch cord because it will dry rot and snap. So yeah, this dry rot's way less, and yeah. I'm also going to be needing a candy needle, yarn needle, whatever you want to call it. These are optional, but they do help a lot and make the process way faster. You're going to be needing 2 buttons. I would recommend black buttons or whatever color your secondary color. So you're going to have white and a secondary color. It can be black like a regular gun, or it can be whatever color you want. I did it pink, but you can do whatever color, and I painted these black because I didn't like how the red looked. But they can be pretty much any color. I'd recommend having it black or the same color as your secondary color. Obviously scissors, and a little thing to hold all your beads in. I just use, this is from when I graduated, so yeah. And that is, obviously you also be needing beads in 2 different colors. So we're going to start by making the shaft. This is the shaft, this white part that goes underneath the shaft cover. So I'm going to show you how to make that. We're going to be getting about maybe 2 arm's lengths of string. I'm going to be getting less because I'm not going to be doing the whole thing, but this is just repeating the same thing over and over again. So indeed, that was way too much, but, and we're going to get 10 of our white beads. Fold our string in half. This is how I make singles. So fold in half. Please ignore the marker on my finger, thank you. Just gonna add 10 beads to our string like we would a single. After tying on the 10 beads, we're gonna pull it closer to one end, so we have 1 short string and 1 long string, and then just tie it off with 3 square knots. Not super tight, but just tight enough to where it will stay in place and won't be all like loose. I'm gonna kind of form it into like a circle shape, and then I'm just gonna continue to tie it. Now we just cut off the short end, take our long end, attach our needle. A lot of people are always like, how do I use a needle? You just pull it through, tie a knot like so. I do 1 knot, but you can use 2. And then there you go. And it's the same as just using a regular string without a needle, but it just makes it go way quicker. Now we're gonna add 1 bead, pull through, and we are going this way. As you can see, our string is going to the right. So we're gonna skip the bead that the string is next to. So the string is coming out of this bead right here. So you're just gonna skip the next bead, so the middle bead, and go through the 3rd bead. So it should go on top of that middle bead right there. And we are just gonna repeat this all the way around. So I'll show you again. We are coming out of this bead right here. We're gonna skip this middle bead and go through the 3rd bead. Pull tight, and this is going to start your multi-stitch. I will have other tutorials down below on how to do a multi-stitch, how to do a peyote stitch, and all that are very, very helpful. So yeah, and we're just going to do this all the way around until we get to the end. After we do that, we are now going to add our last bead, and we're going to come out of this bead right here. And then, now, that we are out of that bead, we're going to go up a row. So now we go through the top bead next to it. So there should be a bead that is on top next to it. And we're gonna go through that bead right there. And then just continue all the way around. This part is easier because they're not all like the same level now. There's different rows. So we're just gonna go through all of the top beads now. And yeah, let's flip it so we're going in the same direction. We're always gonna be going in one direction. Ayo. So yeah. So my string is going towards the right, so I'm going towards the right. So let me show you. So when you add another bead, when you finish off a row, you indeed may have three beads on one, and then 2 beads on this side. So see how there's 3 beads here and then 2 beads here? You're just going to continue doing that until this row also has 3 beads. And then you're going to continue doing this till you have 20 beads on this little guy. So it will take a long time. Took me a good while. It took at least like 2 hours to do that. But yeah, so take breaks. Take breaks. You don't need to rush. Just take breaks and go slow. We're just going to pretend that I have 20 rows right now. Obviously I don't, but we're just gonna pretend I do for the sake of this video. Not gonna be 45 minutes long. Now we can tie it off when trimming your string, because it's a little annoying to tie it off when you have too much string on your little multi-stitch. So I cut some off, and this is the hard part. You tie it off like you would tie a cuff. It's coming out of this bead right here. So, and there's a little gap like right here. We are gonna take our string and go through that gap to make a little loop. So pull our end to make a little loop. And then we're just gonna take our string and go through that loop and pull tight. And then we do that 3 times. So I'll show you again. There's a little gap. Pull your string through the gap. And then put your string through the little loop. Pull tight. And we're going to do that 1 more time. And we're going to pretend that this has 20 rows. Now you can trim off your extra string. And yeah, there we go. There's going to be our little shaft, and that's literally how you do it. Next thing we're going to be making is the shaft cover, which is right here, and this also takes a while. So we're going to be taking our next color. I will be using pink just for this example. Okay, so now we're going to make the shaft cover. This is using the peyote stitch, I think, the even peyote stitch. So what that means is it's going to end in an even number. So as you can see, this is an even number wide. So we're gonna take our pink beads, or whatever secondary color you want to use. Obviously, like I said, I'm not gonna be doing the full thing again, but gonna take some string, probably more than 2 wingspan lengths, and you both tie in more, so I will show you how to do that. We are going to do the even peyote stitch. So basically how you do that, you take 2 beads, you pull your strings apart, and then you just put the 2 beads together, or put the 2 beads on either side, the strings together, like so, add 1 bead, and continue doing that. So strings apart, add 2 beads on either side, or 1 bead on either side, not 2. Strings together, add 1 bead. So you're gonna do this 28 times. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 rows, or 4. This is even right now. So we have 4 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna add more beads until it ends with 1 bead. Until we have 28 beads, like so. It's hard to explain. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is odd right now. So we have 5 right there. I'm gonna add just a couple more but you want it so it's like 28 beads. So this first row is what we're talking about. So this right here is 28 beads long, and what the heck? So yeah, so we're just gonna do that until we have 28 beads. Obviously I'm not gonna be doing 28 beads because that just seems like overkill for this tutorial. But so again, if you have any questions, I'm trying to make this as beginner friendly as possible, but this isn't really a beginner friendly candy project, so keep that in mind. So there you go. We have we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to add 20 more, but for now I'm just gonna work with this. We are gonna tie on our needle to one side of the string, make sure they are not tangled. So to do that, I like just hold it by this bead and I stretch to make sure there are no tangles in it. And yeah, I make sure the bottom string is correct and not all tangled. We're gonna add our string to either the bottom or top. I'm doing it to the top string. Tie our candy needle on. And then we're gonna add a bead and we're gonna pull tight. I hold it about right here. Can't really see. And then we're gonna go through this top bead right here, so not this bead, but where there are 2 beads, we're gonna go through that. And we just continue doing that. So let me just continue. I am going pretty quickly, and I am sorry. And you wanna make sure you pull tight, like from time to time. So we just continue doing that. And then once you pull like 2 or 3 beads, it will take its shape and you will no longer need to pull it tight. And then once we get to the other side, we are just going to add a bead and then go through this bead right here. Can you see? Oh yeah. Go through this bead right here after we added a bead. And we're just going to repeat this a whole bunch of times. I mean, a lot of times. And once you run out of string on one side, right now I could probably do another row, but I'm just going to show you this. We can then tie our string to the other side and then you can just tie your needle and continue on the other side. So we're gonna make this so it is 10 rows this way right here and this way right here. So this is the 28 and this should be 10 rows. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously when doing this, you are going to run out of string rather quickly when doing all 10 rows, so I'm going to show you how to attach more string. All you want to do is take your new piece of string, so pinch, wrap it around, make sure your other string isn't getting in the way, and then after you wrap it around, you're gonna pinch where the 2 ends connect. And then you're just gonna take the 2 ends and put it through that loop. Hopefully that made sense. Now you're just gonna tie, you should have a knot now, just tie 2 square knots on top of that to make sure it is very, very much so tied on and won't come off. And I did not do that. Or you can also do 3 to make sure it just will not ever budge. Then tie off the little short ends. Not all the way. When you're making candy, you don't want to tie all the way up to the knot. You just want to tie like a little further away from it. And there you go, you have your new string. After you do that, it should look something like this. Just ignore the lace. I glued it on, and I actually took apart my entire gun just for this tutorial, so you're welcome. And then the shaft should look something like this. I attached 2 buttons on either side, just with string. You can really do this however you want. I'm gonna show you for a second. Okay, taking the tiniest bit of string, I'm just gonna tie it on, just like we would normally. So, go under a piece of string, tie, and then just tie a normal square knot. So yeah, that's how I add string after I tied it off, because sometimes I am dumb and I tie it off and then cut off the string when I shouldn't. So yeah, and I just tie, I think, 2 square knots. Also, it's like 2 months later. So sorry that this tutorial is taking so long. And then I literally just thread. I think you can kind of see. I just thread through the holes. Kind of line it up. And then I thread through the button on one hole. And then I take it, so this is going up, and then I take my end of my string and I go down through the button. Pull tight. And then I do the same thing on the other side that we did to attach the extra string. I just go under a little loop on the other side, and then I just make a little loop like we tied off the shaft. And I do pull it really, really tight. That did not pull really tight, but you get it. And I do this 3 times. So it should look like this, and you want to do it to both sides. After I attached both buttons to either side of the shaft, we can now attach the shaft cover to the shaft. To do this, I take some string, not a lot of string, because you don't need a lot, but like a single worth of string. So a string long enough to make a single with. So to tie it on, I am just gonna go through a bead on the shaft cover, like so, kind of in the middle, just in the middle as best you can be in the middle. So I'm going through 2 beads right here, so these 2 beads right here. Then I'm just gonna take the shaft and line it up in the middle bead around the same area. This part is kind of confusing, but okay. Let's try and get it the best you can, really. After doing that, I then just tie it together. I got way too much string, but you know, yeah. I then just tie it pretty dang tight with 3 square knots. By the way, this may be a little different than other gun tutorials because there's like only 2 gun tutorials, I think, on TikTok, and then there's 1 on YouTube. But I'm trying to make it way easier because a lot of those tutorials are harder to follow, so I'm trying to make it as easy as I can. So if you have questions, please comment. And yeah, and then we're just gonna, after trying that, we're just gonna continue doing this until it is completely attached. So now I'm gonna do the sides, taking more string. And yeah, this is kind of annoying to do, but you know. So yeah, and I'll be back once I tie it on there. So we're literally just repeat this here and then on these 2 sides. You can also do it on these 2 sides also, but it won't. Well, actually, instead of tying it like on the bottom in the middle, I'm actually just gonna tie these 2 sides. So I'll be, did that just come undone? No. I'll be back when I do that. After doing that and tying it on, it should look like this. And now the shaft and shaft cover is done. Now we're going to be working on the grip. The grip contains 2 different pieces, but we're going to make these twice. So, indeed, like this. So I'm going to show you how to make this piece first, because this is the harder piece. This piece is very easy to make. It's just a peyote stitch, but this piece is more tricky, so I'll show you how I make it. I actually ran out of white beads, so instead of white beads, I'm just going to be using black beads. Hopefully you can tell, and I'm actually going to switch. I'm going to switch to this string so you can see it better than my black string, and I also want to save my black string. So I'm just going to switch to this string and switch the white to black, but just make it the same color you made your shaft, and the shaft cover will be this color. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so this is the pattern we are working with an odd peyote stitch. Let me just fix this. This is the pattern you should have, okay? I'm sorry you couldn't see what I was doing, but this pattern is what you should have as an odd peyote stitch. Now what we are gonna do is we're gonna take our bottom string. These strings are getting so tangled and it's making me mad. So we're gonna take our bottom string, which is not the green one, it's the pink one. It has the pink end. We're gonna attach our needle. If you're using a needle, I really recommend using a needle. It's a pain without one, so yeah. Gonna attach that. We're gonna add, or actually no, yeah, we're gonna add 1 white bead, so. And then I might take this bracelet off now that I think about it, but I will. And then we're gonna go through this white bead right here, like so. Pull tight, like so. Make sure it's lined up. Yep. Okay, tighten it really, really well. Oh my god, these things are such a pain to tighten. I mean, really, it's a pain in the butt. There, okay. And then we're gonna add another white bead. So this row should pretty much all be white. So yeah, and we're just going through the gaps and adding a white bead. Like so. Sadly, I do not have a thing for my white beads, but oh well, it's fine. I would recommend having your beads in a container, but you know, oh well. And that is the bottom row pretty much done. That was really easy. Now let's do something more difficult, because this has a little like indent right here, and that's gonna be pretty difficult. So we are now gonna take our needle off of our string, our bottom string. We're gonna put it onto our top string, and we're gonna start top of it. So, let me make sure this is on top. You can technically tie this part off and cut it off, but I'm not gonna do that yet. Oops. So I'm gonna add another white bead so it lines up with this, and we're gonna go through this pink bead. Pull through. And once you do that, it should take its shape. So now we're gonna add a pink bead on top of that. Like so. And yeah, this is kind of what we did before, but obviously there's a pattern now, so it's not like all one solid color. So that's where it gets kind of tricky. We're just gonna keep doing that. We're gonna add one last pink bead, like so. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my god, I just tied a knot. Great job. So yeah, this may happen. It's a pain if it does. Come on, dude. Get out of there. There we go. And then I'm just going to pull tight. And you can see it's starting to line up with this piece. And I'm going to add another white bead. Like so. Add another pink bead. So we're going to keep doing this until there's three pink beads here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white beads here. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Okay, so I'm actually just going to tie this string off that was on our bottom piece, because it's being annoying. So I'm just gonna trim it and just kind of tie it off real quick. Probably shouldn't have trimmed it that much, but oh well. Just with like with 3 knots like I did before. Okay, so after I did that, I actually tied this off, so this side off, and just cut off the excess, and I tied my needle on, so we were coming out of this bead right here. So we're gonna add a white bead. We're coming out of this bead right here, we're gonna go through this white bead right there, and then we're gonna go through this pink bead underneath it. And then we're just gonna travel back up to the bead we just put on, like so. And there we go. That was the hardest part. Okay. Okay, after we do that, we're now just gonna add a pink bead and go through this white bead, or this pink bead. Okay, add another pink bead. And we're just gonna keep kind of building this up. So yeah, you may want to slow this part down. Then we're gonna add another white bead and go through the pink bead we just put on and add more pink beads. If I'm going fast, I'm sorry, it's just this video is going to be very, very long, so yeah. Now, we're going to add another white bead and kind of do the same thing we just did. We're going to go through this bottom white bead on the bottom, or next to it. And then we are gonna go through this white bead, so this right bead, and then go back up through the bead here. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but you know. And we're just gonna keep pulling tight. This does look better when you have a solid color of string, but obviously I have rainbow, so it's not gonna look very good. Then we're just gonna keep doing this 4 times. Let me actually get 4 times. So yeah, I'll be right back. So after adding a pink bead, we're now gonna go through this white bead, like that. And then I'm just gonna do this like that, and then go through this white bead again like that. And then we're gonna add 2 white beads, so we should be coming out of the 1 white bead. We're now gonna add 2 white beads, go through the pink bead we just added like so, and then we can just continue on with the pattern. So yeah, so right here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tall. Actually, let me show you this piece. And this should be 4 beads tall right there. So we're just gonna continue on. I'm gonna speed this up. It's kind of just what we did here. Okay, so after you get 11 beads on this side, we're just gonna add all white beads now. So, yep. Then we just add another white bead, go through this white bead right here. And this piece is almost done. Then we just add 1 more row of white beads. To tie it off, you just tie it off like a normal cuff. I hope you can hear me. I really hope you can't hear the bird, but you probably can. Oh my god. So just tying it off like a normal cuff 3 times. Really tight. Can I kill that bird? Bird, please. Can I just decapitate it or something? Oh my god. Trim off the excess string, and now this piece is complete. But you need to make 1 more, so you have 2 of this piece. Not going to be doing that here. Now we're going to be working on the side of the gun. The side of the gun is so much easier to make because yeah, it's so much easier. It's just a peyote stitch. Actually, this is the side, so it goes like that. So this is like the back and the front. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take our string. You want longer than this, but oh well. We are gonna add 2 or 1 bead on each side. Then we're gonna put our strings together and add 1 bead. Strings apart, add 2 beads. And strings together, add 1 bead. And here is the start to it. Just gonna kind of twist it and pull it so it's not all twisted. You are gonna make it so both of the outer sides are 11. So 11 here and 11 here. The same height as this piece right here. So I guess I'm showing you real quick. We're gonna take our string. We're gonna take a white bead. We're gonna add a white bead. Good job. Then we're just gonna pull tight. And then, come on, don't twist. And then we're gonna go through this white bead right here. Should have tied my needle on, but oh well. Yeah, it's the even peyote stitch. Okay, you get it. Okay, we've done this throughout the whole thing. So that's how you make this piece. Super, super easy. After you have all of the side pieces, like so, we are now going to be working on the magazine. And I actually messed up on the bead count because you want to make 3 of these. I originally only made 2 and it did not fit, so I'm gonna make another one and I'm gonna show you how to make it. just take this all out. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna be using pink for this part. And get some pink beads. Okay, now taking our string, we're now gonna do the magazine part. We are gonna add 1 bead on each side. Strings together, 1 bead, and we're gonna do this 8 times. It is the even peyote stitch. I originally thought there was only 7, and I did the whole thing with 7, and then I realized that's not right. So that's my bad. Yeah, that is my bad. Okay, now that we got 8 beads on the even peyote stitch, I'm gonna add more string. Indeed. Okay. We're gonna add our needle to the bottom string for now. To keep checking to make sure it's recording. Then we're gonna pull tight, make sure it is not all tangled. Make sure it isn't. There we go. And we're gonna add 1 bead. Go through this bead right here, just like the even peyote stitch. It is a little bit different this time. Why are you not? It's pulling tight. Okay. Making sure it's not all tangled. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this row. Ow! Not a good spot to put my beads right here. So yeah, let me... I'll be back. So after that, we should have a 3 here, 3 here, so it should all be like 3 like this. Yeah, you get it. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through to this bead right here, so our string's on top. Oh my goodness, add a bead. Like so. And then add more beads. Or actually, right. Yeah, that is right. Okay. Another bead. And yeah. And then we're gonna go through this bead right here. Oh my god. Like that. And we're just gonna go up through here. Like that. Pull it tight like that. Add more beads. Like that. And I'll show you because this part is a little tricky. After that, you may see there's no bead to latch onto, so we're gonna go down through here like that. And there we go. Then we're just gonna go through kind of what we did before, not adding any beads. So I'm just gonna go through the bottom, the row underneath it, and then go through here, these 3 beads. What just happened? You can tie the string off now, and I might in a second, so then I'm just gonna, why am I going through and through there? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna go through this bead. Actually, where am I? Where am I coming out of? Wait. After going through those bottom beads, we're now gonna kind of go through this bead right here. Like this. Go through here. Go through here. Then I'm just gonna go through again. Kind of around the same path. Like this. Go through this bead. And then go out through this bead right here, and there we go. Sorry if that was really confusing, I am sorry. We add another bead. And we just kind of continue this. I will show the full thing because this part is a little tricky. So yeah, sorry. This bead. And we are gonna go underneath this bead, underneath it. Kind of like the odd peyote stitch a little bit. And then we're gonna go through. With a needle, this is 10 times easier, so yeah. And my needle is coming untied as soon as I said that. Good job. And then we're just gonna kind of go through here. If I'm going quick, you can slow down the video. Add a bead. And go through this bead. Okay. Like that. And we need to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do this so there are 6 beads like this. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. But then we are almost done after you get 3 of these. You need to make 3 of these. It's a lot of just repetitiveness with the peyote stitch. So yeah, sorry. Sorry guys, but yeah. My needle just came off. Oh my god. Like I was gonna say before my camera cut out, this piece is pretty difficult. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do it last. So you kind of understand how to do the peyote stitch and I'm not just doing it first. So yeah, that's why. I don't know. Okay. So I'm just continuing this peyote stitch. Like so. So there's 6 beads here on the side. Yeah. After doing that, so it has 6 rows, we can now finally tie this piece off. Finally. So yeah. This tutorial, it's been like 2 months since I started making this tutorial, so I'm really sorry that this has taken me so long to get this tutorial out. Like, really, I am very, very sorry. It's just, this is a very, like, not hard, but, like, repetitive project. So there's so many different pieces, and just trying to make it, like, intermediate friendly is just taking me forever. So, yeah. And there's that piece. You're going to want to make 2 more of that piece, so you have 3 in total. We're going to work on this piece, which I actually don't know what this piece is called, but this is just going to like kind of sit like that on the bottom of the magazine. So yeah. This is also the even peyote stitch. This is the pattern we will be using, and we're just going to do the even peyote stitch for this part. Make sure this is 6 beads on each side. Like this. There are 2 more pieces we need to make, but for now we're going to start attaching all of the pieces together. We're going to start with these 4 pieces, and we're going to take a good amount of string. Oh god. And we're just going to tie it on to one of the pieces. Just making a knot, securing it. And yeah. Doing this 3 times. And then we can cut off the short end. Like so. So you're right here. Then we can add our needle to the end of our string. Okay. And then I'm just going to go through this white bead right here. Okay, kind of to hide the knot. And then I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to go through, so this bead, the bottom bead. that. And then I'm just gonna go through this bead right here the other way. And then go through this bead on this piece. And this will just kind of connect it. Pulling tight, and as you can see, it's connecting it now. So we're just going to continue to do that back and forth. Okay. So, yeah. After tying that on, we can now tie it off and kind of just fold it. So you want to pull tight, and then we can just tie it off. So, yeah. After doing that, I then trim it off, and then I'm going to add on this piece right here. The same exact way. After doing that, it should look something like this. And now we can do the other piece. I'm just gonna tie on this piece right here, kind of the same way, but a little bit different. I'm gonna take my string, tie it on. It's probably not enough, but I will. So tying my string on. Like so. Then I'm going to tie on my needle, which is right here. And then I'm just going to pretty much do the same thing. So I'm going to come out of this bead right here. I did notice I did do this part really quick, so I'm going to redo it. Then I'm going to just go through this bead. Make sure I'm pulling super, super, super tight. Then I'm going to go under the bead we just went through, but under it. So this bead, we're coming out of this bead, so we're not going to go through the bead under it. And then go through this bead on the other piece. Make sure you're pulling tight, so when you tie it off, it doesn't get all weird. And then just continue that, like so. This part can be a little tricky. But once you get the hang of it, we're going to be doing this a lot. So once you get the hang of it, it goes really quick. And I don't know why this is not lining up. So, yeah. And with the little indent, I'm just going to kind of go through the indent like that. So just attaching it through the indent. Like so, so it just attaches like that. There you go. And yeah, pretty easy, but kind of confusing a little bit. So yeah, I do this all with one piece at a time. Technically, you could use the same string, tie it all, and just use the same string, but I don't really like doing that. I do it separately. So yeah, there we go. We have our panel now. Now I'm going to tie it off. I like to, when tying it off, I just like to cut my string a little shorter so it's easier to tie off. Obviously you don't need to. Oh shit, why did I do that? But yeah. So, yeah. Tying it off like a regular cuff. Come on, get in the loop. Oh my goodness, okay, there we go. Pulling tight. There we go, cutting out the excess. And now I'm just gonna kind of fold it, and then I'm gonna attach this side, and then this will be done. So yeah, let me do that real quick. After tying that off, it should look something like this, and it should take its shape like this. So yeah, now we're gonna work on the magazine. So we get these 4 parts. For the magazine, we're gonna tie on a string to the bottom piece, then tie on our needle. This is totally not the 3rd time trying to do this until I realized I'm an idiot. But anyways, okay. Then we're gonna. So we're coming out of this bead. We're gonna add our middle piece. We're gonna go through the bottom bead, go out this bead, the same exact thing we did with the 2, and then we're just gonna add the 1. So I really don't know why I thought I could just add all 3 at the same time. Really no idea, but I originally just tied on these 3 together all at the same time. It did not work, and I spent like 20 minutes doing that. Embarrassing, I know, right? So yeah, we're just doing the same thing we did with this guy. Yeah. Oh my god, okay. So yeah, that's my bad. My bad on that one. And we're gonna do it to both ends, so yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. I really don't know what I was thinking, what I was doing. But I figured it out now. So yeah, that's great. That is wonderful. After doing that, I'm gonna go through here to do the other side. So just go through a row of beads pretty randomly here. Come on. And just gonna do the other side real quick. So this side right here, so they are both tied on. So yeah. This part is a little tricky because it's attached on both sides now, so you can't like fold it or whatever, but it is possible. Not like the one thing I was trying to do with all 3 pieces, and I was like, why is this not working? that I don't think that was possible. What I was trying to do there, so great. So great. Yeah, this is so much neater than I'm just embarrassed, okay? Okay, after doing that, we can now tie it off right here, and then we can finally add our 3rd piece the same exact way, pretty much. So I pull tight, and yeah. So yeah, we should be coming out of the middle piece now, and I'm actually just going to add more string to the string that is already attached. Why is that there an end right there? I don't know. So yeah, and I'll be back after I do just the same exact thing. After tying all this together, it should look something like this, and it should go in like this and not be able to come out. And yeah. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the bottom. So yeah, so I added more string, and I'm gonna tie my needle on. We are on the bottom of this piece. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of see. I'm gonna go through here, the 2nd bead. Like so. And we're kind of just attaching it like we did, but just trying to make it in the middle so it's more centered. Then I'm gonna just go through this piece. So yeah, just kind of doing the same thing a little bit. So I probably should have attached it on the other side, but you know. Okay. And I'm just gonna continue doing this. Yeah, stitching it together. Okay. That was not right. Why did it do that? I don't know why I did that. Okay. Here. After that, I'm now just gonna go up here and tie it off like so. Pulling tight. And there's the magazine. Pretty much done. It's actually really loose right here. I can't tie any tighter. Great. So I'm just gonna actually, because there's a knot right there. Lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna go back through that and make it a little tighter. Come on. Oh, yeah, because that was not gonna work. Okay. Yeah, no. So let me go do that. Oh my god. After doing that, we finally have the magazine, and we now can go on the bottom of the gun. You can tie it to make sure it doesn't come out, but it really should never come out. With the 3, it just should be lodged in there really, really well. And yeah, it shouldn't come out. So there's the handle. Now we're gonna attach the shaft to the handle like this. Taking my string, we're kind of gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna tie it on like right here. This is the front of it. Cut off, or tie it off. Cut off the short end, attach my needle for easiness, and then kind of doing the same thing like we did to attach this to the shaft cover, and a mix of like connecting the panels, so yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna position it how I want it, kind of like that, and then I'm gonna go through. Let's just put it upside down. Position it, and want it about right here, so I'm going to go through that bead, pull tight, make sure it's not twisted, then I'm going to go through this bead right here, hold up, it's twisted, of course it is, then I'm going to go through this bead, so only going through like the upper beads, or the beads on top, and yeah, just kind of attaching it like we did to the shaft and shaft cover. Oh, come on. So yeah. So you can see what I'm doing here. I don't really know how to explain it, but hopefully you get the idea. I really hope so. So as you can see, it's going on pretty simply. So, yeah. After doing that, it should look something like this. We can put the shaft in, or not the shaft, the magazine in. Now we can finally work on the last two pieces, the trigger and the trigger guard. We're actually going to work on the trigger now, so let me show you how to do that. Just like less than what you'd use to make a single, about this much should be fine. We're going to fold it in half, add 2 beads to our string, and then this is the ladder stitch. We're going to add 2 more beads on one side, not on both sides. Oh. Then we're just going to take the other string and kind of go through that side just like the ladder stitch and then pull the 2 ends. So let me get more of this end out. This is a little confusing to explain, but it's literally just the ladder stitch, then we pull, so it makes this little like square. Add 1 bead to our string and we're going to do the exact same thing. Gonna go through like this. Okay, make sure it's flat and make sure you're pulling pretty tight. Then we're gonna do this one more time. So add 1 bead and then go through like so. Pull tight, and then we're just gonna tie it off with 3 square knots. And we will have our little trigger that I need to get into place. There we go. There's our little trigger. Now, lastly, we need to make the trigger guard. String, about as much as you need to make a single. We're going to add 24 beads onto our string. There we go. And then I'm just going to tie it off. That's kind of like a single. And tying it a little tight, but not super tight, so now it looks like a small little single. Now, this part is a little tricky, but we're gonna take our string. I'm gonna take this string on the left here, and I'm gonna go through this bead on the right and do the same thing here. It's kind of like crisscrossing our strings, pull tight. And then I'm gonna take this bead on the left side and put it through the right and do the same thing. So, and this will kind of pull it together to make like a little like line shape. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the right string, pull it tight, and you can see it will kind of form like a little line, and we're just going to continue crisscrossing until we get to the end. So yeah, so just doing each bead until we get to the end. And you can see that like line shape coming in, like so. You don't want to pull too hard, because then it will twist. So just pull about, not super hard, but, so yeah, you want it to be tight, but not super, super tight, so it like twists and get all weird. And you can see that line shape coming in. So, yeah. After that, it should look something like this, and we can now tie off the 2 ends, but I'm not going to cut them off just yet because we need to attach it to the gun. So there's our little, oh my god, what is this called? Our trigger guard, or whatever you call it. Now we're just going to tie it on, and the trigger, so I'm going to touch the trigger about right here. And take some string, just a tiny, tiny bit. I'll go through this piece, or these 2 beads, on the trigger. And then we're just gonna tie it on. Like that. So, it's kind of the same thing we've been doing to tie it on. So I'm gonna go through like, maybe this bead right here. And I'm just gonna tie it on right there. Very, very tight, so it doesn't move a lot, but it still has a little bit of movement. Yeah, just shaping it. Yeah, shaping it. And there is our little trigger. I'm gonna cut off these 2 strings and then add the trigger guard, which is pretty much the same step. It's just we're gonna attach it to the barrel and to the handle. I'm gonna do it about right here and free this speed. Make sure it is not twisted or anything. Can you see what I'm doing? And then just tie 3 knots. I'm so sorry this tutorial took so long to make, and it was also like an hour long. I'm very sorry. I wanted to make it as clear as possible, and doing that, it makes things very long and makes it take a long time to make. Then I'm just going to take the tiniest bit more of string, and we're just going to attach it to the handle now. Making sure it's not twisted or anything. Not super twisted. I'm gonna just go under this knot right here in the middle and then tie a knot. My 1, 2 should be good. Then I'm just gonna attach it. Actually, that probably wasn't out enough. I'm just gonna fix this guy. Why is it doing that? I don't know. I think I made this a little too tight. I think I made that too tight. Then I'm just gonna attach it right about here. I'm so gross and sweaty. I should not have said that. So right about here. So go through like this. And now you have your own candy gun. And you can decorate it however you want. I added some charms, lace, and ribbon, and just some star beads. I really hope this tutorial helped you. I tried to make it as easy to follow as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!